one quick and simple ask just before we get started, and that is to take that finger for a wander and hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to, whether you're listening or watching. Just by simply doing that is the cheapest and easiest way to support what this show is about. And also, it has grown and continues to grow through word of mouth from you guys. So thank you so much, whether you're a long-time listener or first-time listener to the show, and for subscribing. If you're also able to share it on social media, especially Instagram, grab a screenshot of this episode if you felt it valuable and share it with your community, share it with people who you think it would offer value to. You can also tag me at Lewis Hatchett in those posts. But for sure, let's get straight into this episode. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Lewis Hatchett, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about reframing negative experiences and even the negative thoughts that come with them. And I'll be looking at how those negative experiences are actually important for you working towards what you want to achieve, and how you being who you want to be and the things you want to do, they can set you up for being in a good place rather than a bad place. We'll also look at some simple questions and exercises that you can do and you can ask yourself in order to reframe those experiences. So let's dive straight in. And the world we live in right now, there are so many occasions where I have seen people not stepping into a situation through fear of failure. And that could be through an expectation from a past negative experience, a negative experience that has created a way of thinking of whether it's about themselves or other people or even that experience for themselves, and they are unwilling to step into a new experience because there is an expectation or a thought process that's going on around that past experience. So we end up dragging these negative experiences into the present moment. We drag them into every situation that we go into because we are perhaps playing a story that we have already told ourselves that experience could end up like a past one. And that stops us from living in the present moment. It takes us out of that present moment. We sit in an emotional state that doesn't allow us to really see that experience, this new experience, this fresh experience for what it is, which is a completely fresh experience. So we may have, from a negative experience, had a perception of who we are as a person and how we act in that situation. Perhaps it's a perception of how other people are, and we pre-expect or prejudge people on what they've done in the past and what they will then deliver in the present. And that doesn't allow us to be in that present moment and experience it for what it is. But more importantly, and this is where we'll get onto it, is looking at what these negative experiences have taught you and how you can use them moving forward. So I don't really want to delve into too much around negative experiences and of what they perhaps are. I think we all know when you've had a bad experience, whether it's a bad performance as an athlete, could be a negative interaction with a friend, a family member, a loved one, or a coach, anything that has had a negative impact on you and you feel still sits with you and maybe even walks around with you, you're going to know what that is. And one of the exercises will be able to remember that and come back to it. So there's literally a couple of questions that I would present to you with trying to reframe these experiences. And that would be, the first one is, what did it teach me? What is it teaching me in this moment? So even from past experiences, what is it that it's taught me, and what perhaps is it teaching me now? The pandemic, I'm certain, is teaching us something. I believe it's told us to slow down, to analyze our health, and that's an overarching negative experience that the whole global audience, the whole world has felt. So there is something that you can do and learn from this terrible situation that we found ourselves in the last few years, and as tough as it's been, there are some learnings. The next bit would be, what can I control? And I've said this before about your expectations going into something. So what is it that you can control in this situation? What is it you can control from the outcome of a negative experience? If you can control something, if the answer is yes, then take action. If the answer is no, then you're going to have to accept it. That is something where we have to try and have this radical acceptance of the situation we're in. So look at what has happened in that situation. What is it that you're really focusing on that this past experience has brought? Can you control it? Can you control the outcome? Can you control anything within there? If yes, take action towards it. If no, accept it. Very, very simple equation. And then after you've looked at what it's taught me, can I control anything? Then step into, how do I want to act and be should this situation arise again? Almost looking at yourself from a third person point of view. How do I need myself to react in this situation? How do I want, do I want to be emotional? Do I want to dwell on it? Do I want it to impact me? Or do I want to come at it from a calm and logical demeanor? There's no real right or wrong there. Both of those are completely valid. But just understanding what you want to do and what's going to serve you best, what's going to put you in the best space coming out of this negative experience, or even if you're thinking of one in the past.